Class of 64, one thing about Class of 64 wasn't that we were so inbred that it was only Class of 64. We were one of the first senior classes to reach out and downward. I mean, guys like Bob Amick, Class of 66, he was as much as a fixture in a class of 1964 as anybody in the class. And now I'll confess, we used to let him sit on the senior bench.
He was one of a kind, that guy, yeah.
He was one of a kind, and I miss him dearly. He was my best friend, and he died here a few years ago, and I had a vision of that. And I was driving down the road. I'd just been talking to him days before, and he used to call me up on the phone because he had all these heart problems like I have heart problems, and he used to say he lost all this weight, and he used to jog and everything. So I got my health back. I said, yeah. I said, okay. But I said, one of us ain't going to be around too long. This thing is... We both got bad tickers, this is not good. He goes, I'm feeling good. But he'd confessed to me that he wasn't feeling that good. So I'm driving down the road in Elk Grove, up by Sacramento, and all of a sudden I got this brooding cold. And as I'm stopped in traffic at a light, I see this instantaneous thing playing out in front of me. And it was like, the light was only about 15 seconds long, but this thing, to tell it would take 3 or 4 minutes. And what I saw I saw the church up in Jackson where he lives, or Sutter Creek, I guess it was, where the funeral was at. And all the people standing there, and I'm looking at myself standing up giving a eulogy about him.
That's weird.
And I'm going, wow, this is crazy, man. And then while I'm doing that, I'm telling the people in the church, this is what's really weird, it was like one of those inside.
Yeah.
I'm telling the people in this vision that's exactly what I'm telling them about my experience at the traffic sign. That I already had this experience and I'm sharing it with them in the church. And I'm watching this.
It's like looking into multiple mirrors.
Yeah, exactly.
You just keep going
Russian
and going.
dolls, right?
Yeah.
And later on, I find out that when that happened, it was in minutes of him dying on his driveway up in Jackson. And when I did deliver his eulogy, it's exactly what I told the people. I told people the story about me having that vision and everything. And it was like, I'm telling these guys exactly what I saw. And it was like, wow. Anyway, Bob Amick was...
He was a singer. He was, I can remember him doing the folk singing stuff.
Oh, man, I tell you what,
who were the... It was
Bill Martin.
Got it.
Bill Martin. Let me see if I can find Bill Martin here. Oh, there's my mouth.
Well, let me check that out.
There's my mouth, and there's me down there. But there's Bob Amick here in the play.
Yeah, he was a thespian.
And trying to think. Anyway, someplace in here, we'll find it. You can find it and plug it in there. But Bill Martin, Bob Brooks, Bob Amick, it was a whole group of guys. But the 2 guys that I really hung around with was Bob Amick, class 66, and Bill Martin from my class 64. And we formed a group, folk singing group, called the Midnight 3. And the Midnight 3, we used to sing at bar mitzvahs, church groups, high school events, school dances, everything. And we were kind of like a big hit at the time. But Bob Amick was great by himself, and then he went on to recording some really beautiful music and everything. Speaking of which, we got music in the back.
Yeah, I heard that cued on.
That's our cue.
If you had to sum up your 4 years at Sunnyvale High School in a paragraph or two, what would you say?
Sunnyvale High School was about friendship. Class 64 was about friendship. And with this jazz in the background kind of reminds me of the times I used to go with my buddies, and I don't want to embarrass them now, but Bob Amick was one of them, and Martin and all these guys. We used to go to San Francisco, and I didn't realize we were 17, 18, and Amick was only like 16, but he looked older than us. We'd go down to Mike's Pool Hall on Broadway, where they had Thelonious Monk playing, and they had Jerry Mulligan playing, and all these jazz guys playing right down the street. And we'd go in there, and I'd be writing poetry on napkins and stuff. And we'd go to these nightclubs, and of course, 2 drink minimum. We're not going to drink, we're going to get in trouble. But we'd ordered, I know they were bringing us Coke, but they charged us the full amount. But we went into all these clubs, and we used to go on the weekends. San Francisco was our hangout. And we used to go to the Cabana. There was this hotel, I don't know if it's still there, on the El Camino Real, the Cabana across the street from Ricky's Hyatt House.
Yeah.
That's where the Beatles stayed.
Beatles stayed, yeah.
1964. Well, Bob Amick and Becky Gingrich and Mihaela Tello and me and might have been Carol, and it was Brooks and a whole bunch of people, maybe Kenny Beiser, a whole bunch of us guys. I found a secret passage to get on the roof there. And we all went up on the roof and we brought our instruments and we had a hootenanny on the roof of the Cabana Club.
Just hearing you say hootenanny brings back memories.
Yeah. And they were up there singing with the banjo and everything. And we didn't get no trouble. Nowadays they'd throw them,
Yeah.
they couldn't do that stuff. But how we got our name, the Midnight Three, we used to go to the International House of Pancakes, as it was known then, not this IHOP stuff. It was the International House of Pancakes, right there on El Camino Real in Palo Alto area. And we didn't have any money. So we brought our banjos, and I brought my ukulele in, and baritone uke, and Congo drums and bongos, and Bill Martin would bring in his 12-string and his regular 6-string guitar, and we'd sing all those classic songs from the Limelighters, the Kingston Trio, the Brothers Four, Peter, Paul, and Mary, the Smothers Brothers. And I was kind of like the funny guy, kind of like the Smothers Brothers guy. And so we were kind of a combination of all that. And both those guys stood next to me when we performed. And they're like, I don't know, Amick and those guys had to be what, 6'3"?
6'2", yeah,
6'2",
big boys.
6'3", a couple 100 pounds each. I was 140 pounds soaking wet at 5'6". So it was always like, and I'm in the middle, right? And then they'd beat me up and everything. But, so we went in this restaurant and we just pull out our instruments and we asked, hey, can we sing? Well, if there's any complaints, you're going to throw you out. I said, okay. So we'd sing stuff that we knew adults would like, And next thing you know, money would be coming over our table. Free food would be coming over. People would be buying meals for us. We'd have meals for all our friends. We had plates plowed on the thing. So we played for an hour or two every Friday after the football game. We went there. And we had a following of people who used to come there because it was like, well, the Midnight Three is going to be here. And they'd have a booth for us, clear people out. No, here's your booth, right? And we get applause from people in the restaurant. It was really kind of...
Whatever became of that name?
The Midnight Three went on. I went into service. Bob Amick went in the Navy. I went in the Army. Bill Martin was in the Merchant Marine for a short while and then went in the college. And then he was in the Peace Corps. But the name didn't die. Some other people stole it. Eventually, some group back in Tennessee started using it. And then the year after they changed it from the Midnight Three, they changed it to another name, and I don't know the top of it off the top of my head. They got a Grammy. So, anyway,
Probably didn't have as much fun as you guys did.
So, anyway, that would have ruined it from our name. Anyway, so our name, the group actually continued on without us, and,
I love it.
Yeah. And then Bob Amick used to do a radio show. This was funny. When I was in the service, he goes, he was in high school still. And, he was a ham. Literally a ham. And his neighbor goes, hey, I'm broadcasting out of my garage, man. We can do these radio shows. You want to be my DJ? Well, it was illegal. It was like high freak. It was like, It was going out of the neighborhood over to the limit.
Like pirate radio, Sunnyvale
right?
style.
And so he's on the radio having this great time doing all his radio shows, so he got raided. And the FCC comes in there, shuts him down.
That's hilarious.
He goes, I didn't know. I'm just a kid, right? I didn't know.
If you had to pull out 3 songs that you guys sang from that era, anything stick out?
Tom Dooley, The Titanic, and I like Scarlet Ribbons and some of those other ones, but...
if you had to, could you start singing the song Tom Dooley?
Actually, no.
Hang down your head, Tom Dooley.
Yeah, I would do it injustice. Here's the deal. Bob Amick, sing like an angel. Bill Martin, sing like an angel. Me, if I was between the two of them and they were singing, I'd stay on key.
They were like a template, a guideline for you.
So it was cool. I could sing. And if they stopped for a minute, like, take it, Bill, about 3 seconds later, it'd be like... So that was kind of funny about it. So I really couldn't, but I put the group together, and I got them the gigs, and I promoted them, and so I figured, hey, I'm in the group, right?
You're in the band.
I'm in the band, right? And we used to go to people's houses, and we'd sit around, and there'd be 20, 30 people from all different classes. I remember Marianne Hale was there, and Ken Beiser. It was all kinds of people. Everybody bring their guitars. We'd have like 10, 15 guitars. And then, of course, Midnight 3, we started off, right? Then everybody joined in. I mean, singing all the old classics and like All Day, All Night, Marianne, and all these old songs, things that were easy to sing. And We Shall Overcome. And it would be the whole night would just be clean cut fun.
Yeah.
It would just be 2-3 hours of singing. Even the parents would not object.
Pete Seeger just passed away within the last couple of weeks, and I'm just thinking of the inspirations. He was one.
This Land, yeah. Geez, and Arlo Guthrie. There was a good
Woody
time.
Guthrie.
See, here's what was happening in the Bay Area. Now, and this is my ego talking, of course, but there was, at the Purple Onion and the Hungry Eye, you had Peter, Paul, and Mary and the Kingston Trio playing.
Right.
All right. Now, at San Jose State and at Stanford and Cal, doing the campuses, because they were still college students, was the Smothers Brothers.
Yep.
Okay? The high school level, covering the Bay Area, and we went all the way from Russian River all the way to Santa Cruz. We covered all the stuff. We were the high school. We were the high school version of that. You got that? So, and we were cheaper. I mean, we didn't take much to get hired. Throw in our gas money and free food, and we're there. Right? So, but we sang at Anley High up by Russian River, and there was a girl that you probably don't remember this, but there used to be a TV show with Karen Valentine, and it was called Room 22. About a teacher.
Totally remember that one.
Okay, well, Karen Valentine went to Anley High.
I think it was Room 222.
222.
Yeah.
All right.
Get older, we lose a couple hundred.
She went to that high school, and she was one of the people she was one of the friends we had there. Of course, I was with Bob Amick and Bill Martin, and these guys went up there. We knew everybody in Russian River, and we got invited to all the prom dances and all the things, and we got invited to all the gigs up there, and the cheerleaders. We knew everybody. In fact, people were kind of wondering if we went to the school or not. But anyway, Karen Valentine, she went on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Yeah, she was big.
And I remember her, hey, I know her. She's on the Ed Sullivan Show. So she was a friend at the time. That was the only celebrity we had up there. Our high school, we didn't really have any
Who was the gal, again, that we were trying to think of for the Wonder Years? Did we ever find her picture?
Yeah,
that was the mom.
Mihaela Tello. Okay, Mihaela Tello, she was the original wonder child of our class. I mean, it was very appropriate that her daughter, Danica McCallum, later on became this sensation, the heartthrob for young people.
On the TV show, the Wonder Years. Yeah.
Because she herself was, without a TV show, she was equivalent of that. And I know Bob Brooks was in love with her, Bill Martin was in love with her, Bill Martin was in love with her, I was in love with her, name anybody. I mean, it was like she was it. And we were really, really good friends. And I took her to a couple of formal dances, and we had a good friendship. I never wanted to ruin it. It was really nice. But she was dancing in our senior year. She was dancing at a place called Frontier Village.
That's going to take a few people back.
Over by Seven Trees, or wherever it's at now.
Yeah.
And,
Monterey Highway.
And she was dancing in the old club there. It was an old Western club. And she was doing the can.
Oh, boy.
And she was on the postcard and everything. And then when she graduated, she was dancing up in Tahoe and everything. In fact, for a while, she had a real good friendship going with Wayne Newton's brother, Jerry Newton.
The other Newton.
The other Newton. Not Fig, but
not Fig or Cam.
No.
Football reference in there.
Yeah. So she's done well. Her daughters are both beautiful. They both have a child now, so she's a grandmother. And her other daughter lives in L.A., of course, doing movies and everything, and is still
I think we have music going on cue here.
Oh, right, on cue. But a lot of good people in the class of 64. That's what I remember about it. I started to mention some of the people in the other class, like Sharon Brooks, who unfortunately passed away a few years ago, and she's missed greatly. But there was the class of 65 and the class of 66. I'm sorry, 67, you guys were kind of left. You're a little bit on the young side. But 65 to 66, they're kind of like in the satellite orbit of 64. So I kind of hope sometime when we do a reunion that we do include 65, 66, and 67.
Well, the event that's coming up in March 22nd up at Sparky's in San Carlos is an all-class reunion. Of course, by the time people see this, that event might be over.
Let us know how good it was.
Yeah.
Let's go outside.
Let's go outside. Let's do it.